some of the highlights, man? You know, some of the things that kind of surprised you outside of the whole mask thing, moving past that, but what were some of the highlights? Because I know, man, from what I saw, there was so much innovation in the last 2 years, like some real good.
I'm just opening this because we have to talk
real
about
good
parties.
Products. Yeah, for those that aren't watching, that's not an alcoholic beverage. If you know JP, he doesn't drink.
Okay, damn, that's pretty good. Wow, that tastes like a popsicle.
I told you, man. Watch
That's
out.
good, man. Okay, so products. So I ran into this brand that I've never heard of in my life, Valhalla Tactical. Really down to earth guys. I talked to them about some issues that I've had with mag pouches and things like that because they had like a display of what they have, and I just kind of poking around, seeing like, oh, this is cool. I've never seen like Kevlar mounting and stuff like that for pouches. And I told them I had some issues with retention. And they're like, that's great because we have solutions for retention. And they do. Are
these pistol mags?
A rifle and pistol.
Okay.
So I've ran like the quick, I'm just going to go ahead and say S-Tac. And other large brands have the quick plastic fast ones where you see like the inserts basically just looks kind of like a taco.
Yeah. Some of them have the plastic ones. Some of them have elastic ones. Some of them have metal ones.
Yeah. So I've ran a couple different brands and I love S-Tac, but I personally stopped using that, not because I don't think it's good or anything like that, because I run base plates and not even just the weighted ones, just regular ones. And they lose retention when I run base plates.
Oh, interesting.
So they're fast, but you know me, you know I like to play in the mud, you know I like to like run around, and so they don't stay in.
Interesting, man. I have not had issues with my S-Tacs and my base
Most
plates.
people tell me they haven't had issues, but I also have been running base plates and developing these things for like over a year now, so all they know is base plates, you know, and I shoot every week. So with that being said, I like S-Tac a lot, but they had a better retention system. It was plastic, it was like form molded, and it was still tighter, more compressed. And they explained it to me more in depth. Point is, though, it was all the same material types and speed, but better retention. So to me,
just a little bit of innovation.
Yeah, to me, I was just like, awesome. Never heard of you guys. You guys explained this very well, and that's innovation. And that's why we're here at SHOT Show, and that's why you're here, because this is awesome. And now I know who you are. And we traded contact information, and I'm currently like testing out their mag pouches. Another thing that they make is like a concealed carry jacket. I thought that was really cool. People are going into situations thinking like, hey, I carry. This is the type of things that like breakaway garments that don't look breakaway.
I saw some of those. Those look pretty cool.
Yeah, but they're thinking about people who carry now, you know, and that's majority like a civilian thing.
Yeah, it's not just LEO, military, tactical.
Dude, and I told him, I said, you're talking to the right guy because I don't run around in kit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was super impressed with them. That was one of the companies I've never heard of. And then EOTech, I was super happy to go there. I'm a massive EOTech fan. And everybody's talking about this new pistol optic. Finally came out with the pistol optic.
Right.
So I went there, I got to play with it. I talked to one of the reps there, and he kind of enlightened me and turned me off to it at the same time.
Let's talk about that.
So everybody's like, fuck yeah, dude, EOTech. It's supposed to be $350-ish, under $400 for a price point. And if you guys don't use Trijicon SROs and RMRs like I use. That's
very competitive.
Yeah, so $500 to $700 is what you pay for an RMR or an SRO if you're average Joe and you don't have discounts or know people, you know? So $500 to $700 is what you're looking at for the standard all-American. Everybody's looking at these like this is the standard. And EOTech, which is one of the best optic companies, arguably the best. I use them. And they're looking at a $350 price point with their name behind it. And I was like, this is great. I looked at the window. The window looked better than an RMR window. The amount of space, not quite an SRO, but overall it was great.
One of the other things I saw was you could change out the battery from the top. You didn't have to remove you didn't have to remove it from the slide to change out the battery.
So, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this more in the future without going down the path of civilians, but the feedback they get from civilians is why they did the top feeding battery, right? Because there's way more people shooting them now. So they're telling you what they want. The consumer's telling you what they want. They basically, when I was not shooting it, but just handling it with the Glock, I was like, dude, this is covering most of what I want to see in an optic, and you're doing it at a cheaper price. I personally don't need optics with the guns I have now because all of them have Trijicons on them. Right. But, you know, I was excited to see what I can relay to other people, and also plan on doing a review, because I think that saving people money and getting good equipment in people's hands for a cheaper price is good.
No doubt about it. EOTech has a great product. I would say this though, like I've always been very, very hesitant to buy version 1.0 of kind of anything, right?
Same.
So
anything. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much of a fan I am of the company. That first one,
right,
is always like, I'll wait this out a bit.
That said, again, EOTech has a very good track record. So, you know, they might also understand this, right? They're trying to be competitive. Maybe they're putting out a low price point.
Well, they also said that they're sending it out to people, as far as I know, to make sure before the official one comes out to the masses that everything's worked out.
Right. I mean, that's very competitive, man, for a company like that with the quality of product they generally
There's a
out.
but.
Okay, I'm listening.
There's a but. So obviously, you know me, I'm big on let's shift. Americans should shift towards American-made stuff, because that refuels our economy. Everybody pays each other. Our economy does good. There's no moral issues going out of country, all that kind of shit, right? So EOTech told me they actually moved this to a foreign manufacturer.
Really?
So now, I don't know this from reading anything. This is the conversation I had with the sales rep. So maybe he has some shit wrong, but he's at SHOT Show. Maybe he doesn't have shit wrong. Maybe they legit...
Dude, they better not be sending somebody there that's saying that stuff and
they
be
better
wrong
not
about
be.
it.
Yeah. So
so hold on. What foreign country is it going to? Do you know? Did he say?
I forget. I forget. I don't want to comment on it if I forgot, but I just remember instantly asking him what, why?
Right.
And he was just like, you know what, man, we separated with some people in our company. And since then we've moved manufacturing for this and maybe some other things.
Wow.
And that's kind of the gist of what he said. So again, I'm not going to put words in the guy's mouth or anything like that, but I mean, I remember this conversation vividly because I'm a massive EOTech fan, and I
do some investigation.
And I'm not a massive fan of going out of America. That's kind of what's cool about some of these 2A companies, is that they're building the best of the best in America. Trijicon right now, I don't know if anybody has a better pistol optic than a Trijicon, and that's all American.
We'll go back to that 350 price point.
Now what does that look like?
Yeah.
That looks like a Holosun with an EOTech stamp on it to me.
Ooh, you went there.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't help it. That's what that looks like to me. And at that point, it looks like the consumers wanting a cheaper price and going towards, quote unquote, more innovation, but going to a foreign country for that innovation at a cheaper price point.
And what's the true cost of that at the end of the day to both them and the consumer?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I was instantly turned off. I was really disappointed. I still have EOTech optics on my rifles and stuff, and I'm going to continue to do that until something drastic may happen. I don't know. I love my EOTech, but that pretty much turned me off to that optic.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope, man. I mean, you got an optic that works. You got an optic that was made here and produced and made, designed, produced and made here in the United States of America. To simply say, I'm taking this off of my rifle now because they've decided maybe again.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Hey, go.
I haven't done my homework, but this is a real conversation I had with somebody at EOTech.
Yeah, I think that's a slippery slope to go down, because you start doing that, you're going to start realizing some things you don't like. Like that phone you took the fucking picture of that EOTech with wasn't made here. Yeah. You know, so there's that part of it too. Like you have to really think through that. But I do appreciate what you're saying. It's interesting. We should.
I'm going to do my homework on it,
because
I definitely plan to run that optic. So, because I wanted to like be able to refer people to like, oh, you can't afford a slide and an optic. Well, here's the options I would give you. One of my buddies just started building a Glock, and obviously he's like buying a bunch of my stuff. And this guy's an outstanding shooter, so I'm not worried about him buying my shit. Like he's the issues aren't in the training for this guy. But yeah, he got like a Brownell slide, but he's doing an RMR. Because he fucking knows where his money should go.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, look, people can be convicted, but again, you choose as a consumer, right? You choose, and you choose the companies that you feel good about.
And like the Brownell slide, I don't really know where that's made, but I know that that's like probably the best budget slide that I've known since I've been shooting. People run it, and it's got an optic cut, and no one ever has issues with it. But like I said, I mean, he forked out the $500 for the RMR.
Yeah, so the optics thing from an innovation perspective just seemed kind of like, I don't want to say dominated from what I saw from the outside looking in, but there were so many new things, and everybody was really excited about that EOTech, pistol optic.
Yeah, everybody was talking about that. Yeah. There was also the slim frame Holosun. I was like,
I saw that too.
Cringing the whole time I was walking towards the Holosun booth, but I had to. You have to see innovation. Yep. And honestly, yeah, it's slim. I didn't get to shoot it. I just got to play with it on like a Glock model gun. But I wasn't impressed by anything, but it is a step in the direction of having more slim, less grabby, catchy optics shooting off the top of the slide. Right. So that's cool.
Yeah. And again, it's just one more step in an innovative direction, right? These companies are stepping up and delivering, as you said, what the customer is telling them they want or need, and it will drive innovation in other companies and force other companies to do the same. And I love that.
Let's just hope that companies like Trigicon get more innovative, because I know people give them shit, but they are the best. But they do it without going broke. Yeah, but do that without going somewhere else, the other route where they're like, oh, let's just make this cheaper. You know what I mean? Like,
doing that is the fastest way to the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. That's the fastest way to run yourself out of business. If all you're doing is just cutting prices and trying to be the cheaper guy. I think most people know that by now. I mean, there's still a lot of room in the firearms business for people to buy cheap shit and throw it on their weapons or whatever, but or whatever they're doing, whatever type of equipment. I guess my point is you start trying to do that and compete as the lowest denominator, right? You won't be around very long.
So I mean, for me,
it's going to blow up in your face.
Everything that I do, like I said, I try to do American made, but like, dude, my profit margins aren't like outstanding, like home run hits, because I try to be competitive with my prices and keep it American made. But dude, the business is coming in and I feel good about the quality that I'm putting out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, again, I'm not some massive company with hundreds or thousands of employees, but I don't know. I feel like with the experience that I have, that there's different ways to do things other than just make cheaper products.
So what else, man? I mean, what were some of the other cool things you saw? Anything else catch you off guard?
I mean, in terms of cool, I'm still like a video game nerd, so I had to go check out the MP7 and MP5 and just play with them so I can feel good about a $50,000 gun.
So weird to me, dude. So weird to me.
No, dude, come on. You know you want to play with the MP5.
Dude, okay. Yeah, man. I mean, if I was out there and could get my hands on one of those to play around there, go out to the range. I know a lot of guys were going out and shooting the new stuff out there.
Oh yeah, that's bucket list for me, is to shoot like to own like a MP5. The H&K booth, I felt like I was at a Louis Vuitton store. Only rich people were there.
I know people give me shit all the time, like that. I've got a number of firearms, but people go, well, what's your favorite one? And I always go back to that HK full size USP 45.
Mm-hmm.
And like, really, man, really? There's only 10 rounds and whatever else. I go, that's HK, man. Like, I still, it's a classic gun, man. It's just,
what's weird is that I couldn't morally feel good about myself if I was telling people to buy HKs, but it has nothing to do with the quality or resilience. It's just the price point for what they're getting.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
Are they really going to outrun some of these other guns like MMPs and Glocks?
Listen, again, innovation, right?
Yeah.
Like it used to be maybe the gun, maybe they haven't innovated like everybody else, but I can't argue with you. Like it's double what anything else costs.
Dude, I've seen some H&K AR-15s that have had some serious rounds through them that other people, not me, that have ran flawlessly. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's a great rifle. Right. I just personally am okay with like a $1,500 BCM.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, no, I get it. I digress.
Yeah.
It's just, look,
I'm still going to buy an
The HK booth has always been known to be like, the shit.
Super Gucci. Yeah. Dude, I loved it though.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting seeing like all these gun personalities walking around. I'm not really somebody who like fanboys, so like I just was just walking by people or saying what's up. But yeah, I don't know, man. In terms of like gear and innovation, there's definitely some innovation happening. But something that did surprise me is some of the most massive booths were very. Are you familiar with the term FUD?
Yep. Cool. Serious, dude?
Yeah, I'm just saying like. A lot of these massive booths were like FUD booths. And I was like, I wonder how long that's going to last.
Yeah. So that's interesting. You said that. So we're talking about the concept of FUDs. And what you see sort of influencing this innovation, right?
Yeah.
And we keep using that word, but like things like optics, like pistol mounted optics, right? Like it's not the FUDs that are driving that innovation, right? It's a much different demographic.
Yeah.
And while the FUDs were kind of, let's just, the old guys that were kind of in these executive seats or, that are decision makers at some of these bigger companies, I don't know how much longer that lasts, man, because, this industry is moving so fast. It's evolving so quickly. That actually surprises me to hear that, because now the next question is like, how many FUDs do you see walking around in there as compared to the rest of the crowd?
Not many.
Right.
That's why I was surprised that like most people were excited to go to like Faro Concepts, which was on the main floor, but pretty small booth. But I mean, they had a lot of people. I didn't really get a chance to talk to them because they were just always busy.
That's great.
Yeah, it was awesome to see because they're actually an innovative soft goods brand, right? But then you have a booth that I'm not going to name any names with this, but a booth that maybe is like 5-6 times the size that like really is the kind of stuff that people get into until they really know what's good firearms gear. And then they're like, oh, fuck, well, that was a stepping stone.
All right, I'm ready to move on.
Yeah.
So speaking of booths, did you go visit the dudes over at the ATF booth, man?
I seen that and I was like, God, I just walked around it. I didn't actually visit it.
I want to know what the ratio of middle fingers is over at that.
That must have been a really rough week for them.
I don't even know like who makes that kind of a decision. And by the way, that's what my tax dollars are paying for.
Yeah.
For those dudes to be at SHOT Show and stay at Caesar's Palace or whatever else. Like, no, thanks.